Right, I'm going to be lunging Penny in her pasture, and this is just a great lesson to get her out of the arena or the round pen and have them out in not a new place, just a different environment to really figure out where to put their feet, listen to you with distractions. It's just a great lesson for them, especially most horses want to be in their pasture because that's where they live, that's where they feel safe. So working them there is a great exercise to show them that not the around pen or the arena is a bad place. Like, we just work and it could be anywhere. So kind of helps with those like barn sour horses. So I just had her back up a step, desensitized her to my whip, and then had her walk off. And I want a nice bend with her in her body, so I'm kind of stepping here toward her belly, and then just kind of have my whip there. I move my arm, and she kind of decided she wanted to trot a little bit. She was a little worried. She comes back though, which is great. Do it again. She's gonna do the same thing. So there I should have kept moving it. This is an old video. I'm not sure why I didn't keep moving it till she came back to a walk, but she did come back on her own, so that is good. But there she went in a relaxed walk, and so I clicked her. So I just shortened my lunge line a little bit, and then I'm going to feed her. But ideally, you'd want to keep moving that lunge line a little bit more until she's just walking when I'm moving that. And then when she's walking on the lunge line and I'm not moving it, then I go to move it and she doesn't react to it. I'm not sure what I was doing there, if I was just organizing it and not paying attention to her, but that's how you should handle it. So she's going to go the other way. So she had a nice bend in her circle and was like really crossing over. So I clicked that, and rewarded that. So I like to click it, and then like I click the horse as they're doing the behavior. So she was walking and she was crossing her hind legs over and had a nice bend in her body. And then she'll stop when I click, and then I give her a little rest break just to chew the food before starting again. So nice relaxed walk. It's kind of a chilly day and she's nice and relaxed. So that was a nice hindquarter yield. So I clicked her as she was yielding. She had that hind leg crossing the other one. Just let her chew here. She was kind of looking off. She decided she wanted to go off here to my right, and I'm just like, no, let's go the other way. So if your horse wants to leave, that's fine, but just make them leave the opposite way that they wanted to go. I wouldn't force them to stand there, but they need to go a different way, a way that is your idea. So ask her here for her hindquarter yield. She's not listening, so I'm just kind of bumping up and away, and there we get the hind end and the crossover step. I'm just going to have her send the other way, or I was looking at the other way. Have her send off and do it again. There we go. That was much better. Right, now we'll go the other way. The other way seemed fine. She just wanted to be stiff, pushing her hindquarters to her right. See, like that was a decent hind end. She didn't step all the way through, but she was much more responsive to it than she was going the other way. So I'm gonna have her go back and then just test that hindquarter yield again. That was better, much better. I'm just desensitized. I like to do lots of desensitizing in between and just get them going from a thinking forward to a thinking relaxed, so you have a nice balanced horse instead of one that you can't move around when you're lunging, because they only think about one thing, and that's going forward and responding. So nice balanced horse you can make with desensitizing. She's like barely moving, which is fine. She's off the track thoroughbred, so I'm going to let her just do that nice little slow walk. I'm going to let them do whatever is opposite of what they would usually do. So I ask her to trot here. She stopped on her own, that's fine. Just ask her again. Again, that's the same thing with having her stop on her own. She has a tendency to just go forward more, so I don't mind that. When she went into that nice forward trot, I clicked her there for going forward, so just give her reward, let her chew for a second, and then we'll send her back off. Just got her head nice and low, nice and relaxed. You can notice like when a horse isn't relaxed and you feed them, they'll either not take it or they'll take it and they'll just hold it and stop chewing. So a good like little trick to see that is they'll start chewing again to become more relaxed, because they want to stop chewing so they can listen to whatever they think they hear or their environment in case they need to run or something. So there I just kind of lifted up on the lead rope, just kind of have a little bend in her body. Get her thinking about that. Just doing some trot transitions. Just want her going into the trot. She's been a little lazy, so I clicked her when she had a nice transition into trot. And then go ahead and desensitize her. She kind of moved her head and flinched a little bit. That's why you want to make sure that you can go in there, touch them everywhere. Same thing on that other side. And just really get them nice and balanced. My goal would be she's nice and responsive. She goes exactly when I ask her, as fast as I ask her. And then when I stop her and I desensitize her, she just stands there like nothing's happening. That would be perfect. That's your goal. Have her go off and trot the other way. Decent transition. Yield, good yield. Working out for a second. It's gonna move around here. Like you kind of have to pay attention to every little thing you do, because just moving my jacket, moving my whip, moving my lunge line, that'll scare some horses. So you kind of got to pay attention as you're doing stuff like that and see what their reaction is, so that you're not worrying them. If you are like moving your jacket and the horse is being worried, just keep moving your jacket until they become relaxed. It's the same thing as if you're desensitizing the horse to the whip or the rope or whatever. So you got to really pay attention to those details. So she stopped on her own, so I just sent her off again. That's fine. Yield her hindquarters. Better. And sent her off again. She stopped on her own, that's fine. I'll just have her go forward. Yield the hindquarters. She listens really nice. Let her hang out for a second. So this part's a little boring, but it's very important. You want to make sure the horse can just kind of stand there, hang out. I'm going to move my lunge line now. Make sure that doesn't set her off. But it's important to have that little soak time so your horse can just think. See, she's looking and chewing here. She's kind of looking off for a second, but she's not looking with her head up and her ears forward. Like she's just kind of looking, and then she'll come back and she's still chewing and licking her lips. So that's all totally fine. So I just give her a moment there to just kind of hang out, and then we'll go off again. She looks a little off on this trot. I think she just had her feet done a day or two before, so she's fine. And she looked better going the other way, but that's why she's a little off. Nice hindquarter yield. She's also on grass, so she's not going to do any crazy work. Nice little soak time again. I'm just going to move my whip around, move my lunge line around. And she's not worried about any of that at all. Perfect. Send her off. Those are just like little tests so I can make sure that she's not going to react to anything like that. Because it might sound dumb to do that while you're lunging your horse in the field, but those little things are the same as if I'm riding her and I go to pick something up off the fence, I drop my phone out of my pocket. Those are all little movements that are very similar to that, and she could get worried about and then dump me later on. So I'd like to figure that out now on the ground. Again, a nice hindquarter yield. I'm going to get my rope set so I can go in here and desensitize her. You want to make sure you have enough lunge line so it's short enough so you have control of their head. You don't want to go in there with 10 feet of lunge line and you don't have control of your horse and they spook and they run, they kick you, run you over, whatever. You just got to make sure, like I do like to walk in there fairly assertively and get some desensitizing done. But I don't want the horse to just have like free rein to kick or run off. I want her to have her head to where she could move if she wants to, but not so much to where I'm in danger. So the other time when I went to the other side, it was just to send her off. You can desensitize one side or you can desensitize both sides. I just desensitized that one side and then had her go off the other way. I usually do that. Like, so she's going off to my left here. So I'll just, when I yield her the next time, I'll just run in there and desensitize her. I usually do that because then it goes more from, see, she's moving with her front end. Her butt ends up toward me, and then I kind of bump her and she straightens out. So that's exactly what I want, and you want to make sure you keep desensitizing while that horse is moving. So I go in there, I notice she's moving, I make sure I have control over her face. I just kind of bump her face toward me so she's not gonna, her butt can swing away so she can't kick me. And then I continue desensitizing with whatever I was until she relaxes. So that's super important. And then she was a little worried to the lunge line, so I'm just kind of tossing that over her face. And sometimes I like to just yield their hindquarters and they'll just toss the lunge line up over their ears like I am doing here. And it just mixes stuff up and desensitizes them. And then when she's standing and she's not worried about the lunge line being tossed over her head, I can just let her, send her off on another lunging circle. So if she walks up to me like that, that's fine. You can back them up. Sending them off usually works better. I'm kind of bumping her on the belly here because she's being lazy. She doesn't want to move forward and she doesn't have a bend in her body. So that's why I was tapping her there, kind of help her break at the ribs and move around on that circle. So we'll go forward here into a nice little trot. And then again, you want to be thinking about the magnets as you lunge the horse. Even if she's in her pasture, she's going to have more magnets in certain places. So to the left-hand side of the screen is Rhett, and that's the horse in the next pasture. She obviously wants to kind of stop by him. She's been stopping on that left corner every single time. So I'm going to have her try to have her canter. So I'm asking right there while she's closest to Rhett. I'm going to keep asking, go with her so I don't block her front end so she can go into canter. And there she goes into a really nice canter, and I click to her. And then I'll just bring her up and give her a treat. So you want to go ahead and reward a nice canter transition before it becomes a runaway. So if you know your horse is going to be like a little hot, a little too much at the canter, wants to run, then just click that nice transition, not a run into the canter transition, but a nice one or a nice canter stride, just one stride, and then build up from there till you have a couple strides, a half a lap, a whole lap, multiple laps. But that's how you get that done. Also, I'm using a driving whip, which was not a great choice for this, because I thought she was going to be more forward on this day since it was kind of chilly, and she ended up not doing that. So that transition that I clicked right there, she went into a nice relaxed trot after doing the canter. Some horses want to go into a really fast trot. That's why I clicked that right there. But I thought she's going to be more forward today. It was chilly out. It's winter time. I have a couple coats on. She's thoroughbred off the track. I thought she was going to be more forward, and I shouldn't have done that because she was not. And so I had to work much harder than I had to. So no more lunging with the driving whip. Good, nice trot transition. And then there I'm asking her while she's on that side. And then I'm just going to keep asking her. I'd like her to do it on that left-hand side of the screen, but I'll keep asking.